Hello, my name is Laura Stump Kennedy. I'm a parishioner at St. Stephen's and the Incarnation Episcopal Church here in Washington, D.C. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you just briefly what it means to be a sanctuary church, or what it can mean for your congregation to be involved in the movement. And I want to start by saying that we've heard the word sanctuary in a lot of contexts lately. There are sanctuary cities and sanctuary campuses and workplaces even. And while everyone has their own definition of exactly what it means to be a place of sanctuary, we're all basically using the word in the spirit of helping support and protect the rights of immigrant community members, or in some cases of other community members who feel threatened under the current administration. And I should also mention that simply declaring yourself a sanctuary church is not an illegal act. It may be a statement of faith or a mission or purpose, but just saying that you're a place of sanctuary does not rise to the level of committing a federal crime. So many congregations who are interested in being a part of the sanctuary movement are going through an important process of deciding what's the best way for them to be involved. An important step in this process is considering the needs and desires, or centering the needs and desires rather, of the people most directly impacted by the changing immigration policy in your congregation or in your community. So it's important to have conversations with people who maybe have immigrated to this country recently, who maybe don't have immigration status nor vulnerable to deportation, to really figure out in what way the church can make them feel more protected and safe, and in what way allies who are maybe U.S. citizens can help them feel safer in our community. So I'm going to briefly talk about 5 ways that some churches have decided to take action. And way number 1 is some churches have decided to become very politically active. If there are pieces of legislation up for debate in their town council or in their state about implementing sanctuary policies, or just, you know, putting more funding in multilingual programs or other things that could benefit the immigrant community, people have decided as individuals and as congregations to go and support those actions. So that's something easy that you can start doing tomorrow. There are vigils and protests and rallies happening around federal offices in the White House almost every weekend at this point. So that's something simple that you can participate in as an individual or hopefully as a church. The second way of getting involved would be to host a Know Your Rights event. Know Your Rights events are mostly usually geared, in this context, they're mostly geared towards people who are at risk of being deported, and it's information about what to do in case of an ICE raid. ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're basically the police of immigration in this country, and they're the people who show up to make arrests and detain people and eventually deport them. It's a great opportunity. Hosting a Know Your Rights opportunity in your church is great for educating members of your congregation about their rights, either someone who is vulnerable to deportation or someone who's an ally looking to help support others. But also it's a great opportunity to invite neighbors who may be interested or could use this information. There are numerous nonprofits you can call to try to get to come and do this, such as the local ACLU. And also there's a grassroots organizing group called Sanctuary DMV that's been putting on some of these trainings. A third opportunity for engagement is accompaniment. We have people in our congregations and our community who are in immigration proceedings, meaning that they have upcoming court dates and may not have a lawyer, or people who have deportation orders and who are required to periodically go to an ICE field office and make themselves available. And it's a terrifying process, and from which somebody could be deported at any moment. Having, in this case, U.S. citizen, for the most part, allies who could go with that person and show that they're a beloved member of the community and that they have support, can really send an important message to ICE and in some cases help delay a deportation. A fourth opportunity for involvement is to participate in a rapid response network. There are localities who are organizing around creating such networks, the point of the network is to get U.S. citizen allies to arrive in real time when ICE raids are happening. And a network would function like this. Basically, if I am walking down the street and see that ICE is knocking on the door of a house, I would send a text or make a call to a certain number, and there would be a dispatcher who would then disseminate this information via text to other people, a part of the network in our immediate surroundings, so within blocks of that site, to say ICE at this address. And any of us who feel comfortable, so once again, probably in this situation, people are U.S. citizens, would arrive, would videotape, would try to check for proper documentation, like is there a search warrant, etc., to make sure that ICE is complying with all of the rules for making an arrest. And the point is to de-escalate violence and also to actually impede arrests if they're not following the proper procedures. And it's something that local people who are at risk of deportation could get plugged into, so that they would have a network to contact quickly if they needed citizen support. And then the fifth opportunity for involvement is, of course, hosting. And hosting is it requires the understanding and communication between a lot of different people, not only the congregation and the person or family who is looking to seek physical sanctuary or moving into the walls of the church, but also legal support and having an attorney who's familiar with immigration laws, committed to representing this person and helping manage this case. There are a lot of different opinions on what types of cases should be brought to the public's attention through hosting, but that is a decision that is up to every individual congregation, and there's lots of resources online through PICO, through Church World Service, and other organizations who can kind of give you a little bit of guidance on that. But not only the church or the congregation that's actually hosting, there's also a need for other congregations in the area to help bring financial donations, facilitate transportation and food, and there are lots of other opportunities for people who are not in that church to support a hosting congregation. So as I mentioned, these are just a few of the ways that someone can get involved. And like I said, the conversation always needs to start with people who are directly impacted to know what the needs and the desires of that community really are. If you and your church do not have those people as a member, as congregants in your church, try reaching out to local nonprofits to start putting yourself out there as a supporting institution. Some nonprofits in this area, a few of them, not all of them, would be CARE Coalition, Ayuda, Catholic Charities, Immigration Legal Services, Hogar Hispano, Justice for Our Neighbors, Casa de Maryland, Whitman Walker has legal services, also KIND, or Kids in Need of Defense, and many others. Okay, so best of luck in your efforts. And another great next step would be to get involved with the local congregational network that PICO and Sanctuary DMV are helping facilitate. Thanks so much.